2024 is coming to an end. In this past year, we have seen the price of essentials continue to steadily climb, good jobs becoming harder and harder to find, and the American dream becoming more and more out of reach for the everyday person. Times are getting tough for everyone, and life is becoming more and more unaffordable. And as we approach 2025, I think that we're going to see many trends that encourage people to save money and opt to live a more frugal lifestyle.
Hello, and welcome back to Money Mentor. Today, we have an exciting topic to explore. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss our valuable content. Let's dive right in.
And in this video, I want to share 10 of those trends. And the first trend is the tipping point on groceries. In the past few years, one thing that has drastically increased in price and has hurt many people's budget is the price of groceries. I mean, if you went to the grocery store and had $100, 4 years ago, that would get you this many groceries, but nowadays it would only get you this many groceries. The price of groceries has gotten so expensive that people are starting to become more conscious on which products they choose to buy and not to buy. And certain products like chips, Gatorade, and candy are reaching a tipping point where the price has gotten so high that consumers are deciding to go without the product. I mean, I have a sweet tooth, but no matter how much I am craving candy at the checkout, I will not spend $3 on a Snickers bar. Es mucho para unos sneakers. But in 2025, I think that many groceries will reach this tipping point where the price has gotten so high that consumers will stop buying the products altogether, and companies will have to figure out how to lower their prices or see their revenue drastically decrease. Now, the second trend is targeted couponing. So we've all heard of and have experienced targeted advertising, where based on what you search and consume online, you will be targeted by certain advertisements that might be of more interest to you. And something that is becoming increasingly popular, especially in grocery stores, is what I like to call targeted couponing. And this is how it works. You go to the grocery store and buy food. Once you scan your loyalty shopping card at the checkout, an algorithm will take note of the products that you like. Then on the grocery app, you will receive personalized coupons that are related to the products you often buy. Grocery stores are starting to have more sophisticated algorithms where they know their customers' personal spending habits. And they're using that data to try to get customers to return to their store by offering targeted coupons. And in 2025, we will see coupons become more targeted to individuals that allow them to get discounts on their favorite products. Now, speaking of algorithms and data, one thing that has raised concern about individual privacy this past year is the number of data breaches that we have seen. I mean, United Health confirmed 100 million of their users had their data stolen. Ticketmaster experienced a massive data breach compromising over 560 million customer records. And National Public Data announced that they had suffered a major data breach potentially impacting every. Now, the third trend is denser living. Now, here in the United States, or as we Americans call it, the greatest country on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, God plays favorites, and we are his favorites because we have the most money. But in the United States, we have a housing shortage. I mean, according to Pew Research, we are short between 4 to 7 million homes in the United States. And in response, there has been a construction boom. And if you have been paying attention, one trend that we have been seeing in this construction boom is housing becoming more dense. For example, in the past, houses were spread out and away from commercial areas where you need to drive a lot. However, nowadays, housing is becoming more dense where people are living closer to commercial areas with more amenities closer by. And this way of living allows people to save more money because there's less dependency on cars, more access to free public spaces, and a stronger community support. In 2025, we will see this trend where housing starts to become more dense, where residential and commercial areas become more connected, and this will allow life to be a little bit easier and a little bit more convenient. Now, the fourth trend is the increased usage of public spaces. Now, to continue on this subject of housing becoming more dense, another related trend that we have seen over the past few years is having overall better public spaces that people actually want to go to, like pretty greenways that are easily accessible, parks with more amenities, in public spaces hosting more public events. And the cool thing about all these amenities is that they are free. In recent years, we have seen this trend of overall better free public spaces that are attracting more people. I mean, here in Atlanta, they have recently built a 22-mile greenway around the city that allows many people to get out and enjoy the day without spending a lot of money. And of course, a lot of this is gentrification and can cause you to spend a lot more money. However, if you do it the right way, you can enjoy these places completely free. And in 2025, as everything becomes more and more expensive, I think we will see this trend where more people embrace these free public spaces in order to be entertained and not spend that much money. Now, the fifth trend is the decline of eating out. So as I said earlier, when it comes to groceries, there eventually reaches this tipping point where people decide to stop buying certain products. And this also applies to other things, like eating out. For example, we're reaching a point now where eating a meal at a restaurant will cost you about $20, which is becoming the tipping point for consumers where they're deciding to not eat out as much. The price of eating out has gotten so expensive that people are starting to notice, and eating out on the regular is just not affordable to do anymore. And in 2025, we will see the decline of people eating out, and more people are going to decide to cook meals at home and bring food to work in order to save money. 6, the decline of streaming services. In 2025, another industry that we're going to start seeing decline is the streaming industry. I mean, when streaming first came out, it was seen as a deal. You can get cable for $100 a month or get Netflix with better programs for $7.99 a month. However, the cost of streaming services is starting to become the same as what cable used to be, because in order to watch everything that you want to watch, you need to subscribe to many services, which is nearing the cost of what cable used to be. I mean, as I explained in my consumerism trend video that I made a week ago, the price of Netflix has steadily increased over the last 12 years by 94%. And this is the same with many other streaming services. People are starting to notice that streaming isn't as affordable as it used to be. And we're reaching a tipping point where people are starting to drop services in order to save money. And in 2025, we're going to start seeing this trend where many people start unsubscribing from streaming services in order to save money. And these streaming services will either have to consolidate or completely go out of business. 7, the decline of upgrading culture. For so long, tech companies have released new versions of their products year after year after year. I mean, since the first iPhone was released in 2007, there have been 37 more versions. And up to this point, there has been a demand where consumers have been lining up every year for the latest version. However, I think that we're starting to see this trend where people are starting to notice that nothing really changes between models. And constantly upgrading is expensive. And instead, people are starting to hold on to their phones until they break. And in 2025, we will start to see the decline of this upgrading culture that tech companies have profited off of for so long. And people will hold on to their things until they break, until it's time to buy a new one. 8, group vacation cost sharing. Going on vacation is becoming more and more expensive. And one trend that we've been seeing that's combating the rising price of vacationing is what I like to call group vacation cost sharing, which is where a group of friends or family will plan to go on a vacation together, rent a big house, and split the cost of the vacation, making it more affordable. I did this 2 weeks ago, where me and my family took a trip to Florida, and we all ended up paying just $700 each for a week's vacation with a beautiful view, which is a much cheaper route to take than going on a vacation with a smaller group. And in 2025, I think that we're going to see this trend where people will choose to go on vacations with larger groups in order to save money by splitting the cost of the vacation. Now, the ninth trend is no-spend challenges. So I have been in this YouTube game for 3 years now. One trend that we're going to see really come to life at the beginning of the year is called no-spend challenges, where you set aside a specific amount of time, like 30 days, and stop spending money on things that are unnecessary. And this helps people save money, break bad financial habits, and pay down debt. No-spend challenges help you reset your financial life after an expensive holiday season. And at the beginning of 2025, we will see so much content of people talking about no-spend challenges that, hey, maybe one of those videos will be mine. Now, the final trend that will impact you in 2025 is young people embracing frugality. Since social media started and influencers start to influence people on what they should be buying, we have seen this level of hyper-consumerism that has become toxic. One trend that we saw this past year that combated this hyper level of consumerism was called underconsumption core, where people gave tips on how to save money and reduce waste. It was probably the first trend that we ever saw on social media, where people embraced living a more frugal lifestyle in trying to save more money. And in 2025, I think we will start to see more trends like this, where people opt to live a more frugal, minimalist life. And those are the 10 trends that will impact you in 2025.